Hello, good people. My name is Maurice. You can call me Mr. K. I'm just here to talk about the tax rates, the new tax rates that the KRA had proposed in 2025. I know we have had this talk in 2024 December that the KRA, they have reviewed how they're going to be calculating their tax in 2025. And I know you have received your payslips this year in the month of January, after you have gotten your pay, and you try and also to figure out exactly what have they done, what have they changed, and you are very much confused, and you really, because looks, when you look at your pay slip, the only thing you care about is their net pay. The other things always confuse you and you don't really care about them. But let me just put them in one by one, trying to compare in 2024 and 2025 and in terms of tax rates. Now, the information that I am going to share is just, I'm making up this information, and I'm using the information which is there online in terms of how the taxes are now being calculated. So please, if I make any mistakes or there is something which does not make sense to you and you know how it's done, instead of crucifying me, you just correct and tell me, actually, this is how it's supposed to be done. Now, I'm going to use a scenario of a person who is getting paid 120,000. This is gross pay. Employees, they tell you you'll be paid this amount of money, but whatever you take home is totally different. This is where the government comes in, and so many other people, SHIF, SHA, Housing Levy. Those are things that really annoy Kenyans so much. But this is a tax rate for Kenya Revenue Authority. It's not applicable to any other country out there. Now, let's look at a scenario of a person who is getting paid 120,000. And I'm assuming that person has not gotten a salary increase in 2025. So we're going to compare both 2024 December and 2025 January. So here is the taxation area. If someone in 2024, 120,000. And then under the taxation area, you come and you find there is something called contribution benefit. This contribution benefit is retirement benefits. For example, the NSSF, and you can see the amount is the same as NSSF amount. So before you calculate tax in 2024, you add to minus the contribution benefits. Now, if you have other retirement, and which you contribute about 6,000 every month, then your contribution benefits definitely is going to be 6,000 plus 2160. This is, I'm assuming that if you add another one. So when you are contributing to the retirement benefits, the tax, we must minus the retirement benefits first before now we start calculating tax. So that's why you see this figure of net chargeable pay, which is also known as taxable amount. The taxable amount, it's supposed to be double mem, or I'm not sure. The taxable amount is 117,840. Reason being, we have minused this 2160. Now, the tax charged out of this amount here, it's 30,135. How do you calculate this tax? Please go to the KRA, and this is how the tax is calculated. There is a formula which the KRA have given here, and you can actually use that formula to get the tax which is being calculated. So in the KRA website, it is there in terms of how tax is calculated. And because there is also an online calculator for the tax, which is on smepayroll.com, and then you select Kenya, and then you can put their gross salary there and calculate. You can click on calculate, and it's going to give you a sample payslip. These things are online. You can actually use them for free. You can actually also put yours, but make sure you know exactly what you're doing. Let's go back to our spreadsheet. Now, so this amount, it comes from the KRA formula that has been there for some time, and it was in proposed. This one was passed during Finance Act of 2023. Remember, the Finance Act of 2024 did not go through, so we're still using the Finance Act of 2023, and this is the formula which was presented. So the person who is getting paid 120 will pay 30,135, but that is tax which has been charged. Now there are something we call reliefs which were there in 2024. The relief, one of them is housing levy relief, and the other one is personal relief. The personal relief, we have known it for some time. It has always been there, and for I don't know for how many years, but it has been there. For the housing levy relief, this is a new term which came somewhere last year. I don't know whether the last year or 2023. So for you to understand the housing levy relief, you must go first of all to deductions, where you go to the housing levy itself. So this housing levy, the figure 1800 is it is a percentage which is 1.5%, 1.5% of gross. That is housing levy. These figures or percentage, obviously, they were given to you through KRA or the Finance Act of 2023, blah, blah, blah. So everybody is charged 1.5%. These figures, they don't look the same. Definitely, it is 1.5% of your gross. Your gross can be different. So I'm just giving a scenario of a gross of this person getting 120,000. So 1.5% of the gross, it's 1,800. But again, they went ahead to give a relief of 15%. This is 15% of housing levy. I don't know why they do that, but I have not read so much about it. But I know there was 15% relief on housing levy. So you are charged 1,800 and then they give you 270 shilling as a relief. Doesn't make sense anyway. But then the personal relief has always been there. So the payee that goes to the government, payee, which is pay as you earn, is 30,135 minus 270 and minus 2,400. So payee is 27,465. That was 2024. 2024 rates. So let's look at now the deduction area. Remember the NSSF, which is 2160, it's a deduction. So together with the payee and NSSF, remember the SHIF, it was 2.75% of gross. So this is 3,300. This one does not have a relief. It doesn't have a relief. So it was 2.75% of gross. Then the housing levy is there, 1,800. So the total deductions were coming at 34,725. This is 34,725. This is 2024 for the person who is paid 120,000. Now remember, these deductions, unless you have anything else, unless you have contributed to something, unless you have a loan. This is a person who is just paid 120,000, does not have any other benefits, does not really have loans, straightforward person. So at the end of the day, this person in December, they were taking about 85,275, which is equals to, this is the gross pay minus the total deductions. Now that is 2024, 85,275. Let's look at January 2025. The same person paid 120,000. Here you're going to see some new things have happened. Under the taxation, remember our taxation was looking like this. Now here our taxation, it looks a little bit different. Under the taxation, the contribution is the same, has not changed, which is NSSF. Then the housing levy pre-tax relief. What does that word mean? So what they have done is that they have picked the housing levy that they are charging, which is 1,800, which is 1.5%, yes, 1.5% of gross, and this is 2.75% of gross. So what they have done this time is that they are picking both of this housing levy and the SHIF, and you minus from the gross first before you now get your net chargeable pay, which is taxable amount. So taxable amount, which you now, it is 112,740. Remember the other taxable amount was 117,840. Why is this lower? Is because we have minused the NSSF. Let's just call it NSSF. And we have minused the housing levy, and we have minused the SHIF, so that we can now get the taxable amount. Now from this, you use the calculator, which is the KRA formula of 2023 Finance Act. So you use that to get the tax which was charged. This tax which was charged is to 26,204 in January 2025. Remember, in 2024 the tax was 30,135. Now in January 2025 is 26,204. The reason why it's lower is because we have done something called pre-tax reliefs. We have to minus them before we calculate. Then the personal relief is still the same, still there. Now the NSSF, there's a proposal which I think it's going to be from February 2025. The NSSF amount might go up. So it will go up because there's a certain percentage which they are trying to factor in. Instead of having a block number of 2160, now this NSSF number will go up. Now the NSSF is just contribution for your retirement. So it is money that you're going to get when you retire, definitely. But whatever it goes to do with the government at the moment, it's none of your business, definitely. Now, let's go back to deductions down in 2025. Remember the tax charge, then minus the personal relief, you end up with the payee, the money which goes to KRA, Kasongo. Now, remember the NSSF is still there, the SHIF has not changed, and the housing levy has not changed. So the total deductions in this time is, in 2025, is 31,065 compared to the total deduction before, 34,725. So the gross pay comes from gross net, the net pay comes from gross minus total contribution deduction. So at the end of in 2025, your net pay is 88,934 compared to 2024 December, which was 85,275. Now, what's the difference? Let's see the difference. See how much money that they have given you back. This is the equals to that minus that. So, okay, supposed to be other way around. B40 minus B19. So definitely there is some amount here which It's a good amount which you have been able to benefit as a taxpayer. So this is good for the taxpayer, but this amount, these two amounts, what's the total of these two amounts? I think this is equals to that plus that. It's 5,100. These are the amount which were introduced to you recently. SHIF and housing levy, they were introduced to you recently. Now, if you look at the difference between this, which is that minus, so the government is still taking away 1440 from you compared to whatever they used to take long time ago before the SHIF and SHA were introduced. So it's a little bit benefit compared from what we experienced last year. So if we compare from last year and this year, there's a benefit for us. But if we compare it from the previous years where before all this housing levy was introduced and SHIF, then we are still losing, but not as much as we were losing last year. So do you think this is good enough? And again, you saw that they are giving you this amount as a relief because they're going to come up with the NSSF amount, which might be almost equivalent to this. They are giving you back this, and they're going to take it again from February this year. So, is it a win, or it's just the games that the government plays? Thank you very much. I mean, I was just trying to do these things for fun, nothing serious here. Thank you very much.